Sorry, I keep touching my screen and stopping my phone. So I was saying, if you don't have a funnel, this is what you can do. Take an empty water bottle. This one you can see has a little fluid in it. Cut the water bottle. It doesn't matter where you cut it. So you can place in here. And what you're going to do is removing the lid. You're going to place, without the lid, place it down here. So now this is cut off. This is what you can use in lieu of if you don't have a funnel. I am not going to do that because, as you see, I still have a little of the power egg left in that bottle. I don't want my engine to hydrolyze. So I'm just going to pour it in there. Carefully, just a little bit. So I'm going to set my phone down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Maybe. Alright. So I'm going to pour some in here. I'll likely spill some, but I'll make sure I clean it up. I'm going to show you why you're pouring it in without the drain plug. Probably can't hear it from the microphone on the phone, but it's actually running out of the car right now. Let me show you. Can you see it now? So what it's doing is acting almost as a semi-flush and removing a lot of the contaminants that are still sitting in the bottom of the oil pan. So what we'll do next is, once this is thinned out, once it thins out, which means I've got a lot of the oil that I poured in there is essentially drained out, we will replace the plug, replace the oil filter with a new one. And again, for me, myself, because I'm a little anal retentive, I typically have 2 filters, because what I'm going to do next will help get a lot more of the gunk out of the engine oil passages. So you see we still got a little steady stream going here. All right. You can see what my oil looks like. I'm trying to drop my phone in there. Yeah, you can see a lot of the dirty oil and things that's in there. I typically go, I don't do the oil change every 3,000 miles. I typically change mine every 3 to 4 months, because I don't do a lot of driving in my car. So if I change it every 3,000 miles, I'd probably change it no more than twice a year at this rate, because I don't drive this one too much. I've got other vehicles that are my daily drivers. So it's about down to a trickle now. So what we want to do, go ahead and, holding it steady, replace the oil drain plug. Give it a couple of turns, pushing it while you got it. Alrighty. So now I've got it in place, finger tight. Take my ratchet, move my oil pan out of the way slowly so that it doesn't splash hot oil up on me. And I'm just going to tighten it, give it a couple of turns. Alright, so we're tight there. Now I'm going to remove the oil filter. Some of the oil filters, you'll see this particular one, it's got a grip on the bottom of it. Let's get under here. It's got a little grip on the bottom of it. You can grab it and typically turn it. Some, because of the restrictions as far as other parts in the way, you may not be able to get your hand in there and turn it. But this one, like I said, I've got this one. I'm able to get my hand in there and get this one, so I'm okay. So I've already, you just want to try to, if you can, probably pay attention to this part right here so you can see it, watch when it turns. So I'm going to grab it, you see it turning. What you do not want to do, I don't have my oil pan down here, do not want to take this off while the oil pan is not up under it, because you're going to have oil running out. So slide your pan up under it. Do the best you can to remove your face as far away from the pan as you can while you do this, because you will get some splashing. Then I'm going to twist this off slowly. Again, same concept, and you see some of the oil running out now. Same concept as the oil drain plug. As you're twisting it, push up on it, because you don't want this to just drop and it will splash down the oil and potentially cause some splashing on you. So I'm going to let this drain just a little bit. And then I'm going to go back up and I'll twist it some more. Now this particular oil, now because the car's been sitting for a second, the oil's not very hot. That's one of the reasons why I'm allowing it to get on my hand, because it's not burning me. I do not suggest you doing that. I do not suggest you doing that. Again, I do not suggest you do this with hot oil. Let's get that out there. So I don't want people suing me saying, he said this is how you do it, and then you got first, second, or third degree burns because you weren't smart enough to remove your hand from the hot oil, but instead you're trying to hold on to a hot oil filter. So I'm going to keep removing and pushing at the same time. Again, filter itself has oil in it, so you need to be careful. So you'll listen, you hear it click, hit the click. That means I've gotten through the last thread, and I've just pushed up on it because it's the opposite direction. You see how loose it is? So now I'm going to lower it. Okay, so now I'm going to dump this oil into the oil pan. Always, always, always properly discard oil. Do not pour it down sewer drains. Do not pour it down sewer drains, because it'll potentially go into some of the creek beds where our wildlife is, and could potentially be a hazardous ordeal to the wildlife. So now I've got the oil filter off. I am going to wipe the area clean with a rag or cloth. So I'm going to slide off from under the car with the phone. Got me something to wipe the oil up with, which I had a rag and I just don't know what I did with it. Nevertheless, we'll do this. All right, here we go. Down. Sorry about that. All right, so I got my rag. Time to wipe the oil pan clean, or the drain plug area clean. So I'm gonna get in here. You probably won't be able to see it very well. You see it right in here. You can see my, zoom out. So you see my finger here. So this is where the oil plug, or the shiny ring here, the surface here. This is what the oil filter seats on. There's an oil drain passes. So I'm just gonna simply take a rag and wipe the entire area and get as much of the debris and old oil off of it as I possibly can. All right. So I'll show you afterwards what it looks like. So you saw it before, now you can see it a whole lot better. You can see it's a lot cleaner than what it was before. And again, I try to get as much of the debris up as I can. All right, so you see it now? All right, so now we replace this with a new filter. So let's get the other filter. I simply keep a drawer full of a couple of filters in and like that. So I've got two filters here. Doesn't matter which one you use first. So because I'm going to remove one, it's only going to be on there for a very short while. So I'll remove the plastic from the film, or plastic from it. Got that removed. I'm going to grab my oil, which is here. And all I want to simply do is pour just a little bit down inside of here. Okay? I'm going to get some up on the top here. Then I'm going to use my finger. Get just a little bit around the rubber seal that's here. Again, you want to make sure your fingers are, try not to do this if you got any type of dirt or debris or anything on your finger, because you don't want that to find its way into your engine and potentially cause some damage. So got it rubbed around there. So now we're good. So now we're going to replace the filter back on. And so you can see it. All right, you see where it goes. Here's a filter in my hand. Just like a light bulb, you put it up there, you're going to push it while you're doing it, and you're going to turn. It will eventually catch to the point where you can let it go. So it's caught the first couple of thread. So now spin it. Now you only want to do this hand tight. Okay? Hand tight. That's it. Put it any tighter, you'll need an oil filter wrench to try to break it loose. All right, so now my oil filter's on there. I've got my drain plug in. Here's my dirty oil. So, still not done with the oil change yet. So, here's where the other part comes in. I'm going to take my oil, and now I'm going to pour it into my oil port, or my filler tube. Okay. There we are. You can probably hear the oil draining down in there a little bit. You see what color the oil is. So it was just a little darker than that when it came out the first time. So this is what I'm gonna do this time. Pour some in there. All right, so we're good. Replace my cap. Now we're gonna start the car. So I'm gonna grab my keys. Bear with me 1 second. What do I do with my towel? There it is. Grab my keys. All right. Key. Head around to the car so we can get it changed. And we started. Here running. Dirty water. Tripoli playing on the radio. That's what I was listening to while I was driving. Alright. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to replace actually in the vehicle. We're going to use this. This is what I use. I want to change my oil. Royal Purple. I actually found a new grade that you can't buy in the store. Order online, or you can have the store order it for you. See, it's Royal Purple here. Okay, now this particular one, this is, let me show you the label on the side. See that? SAE 5W30 HPS. So it's a high performance motor oil. Now we head back to the car. I put the oil, or sorry, put some fresh oil in. So now what we do is we're gonna give it a little gas. That's just to help. That's just to help get some of the oil going through there. Don't mind the flashing light. That's just a tire pressure monitoring sensor and light. I don't have sensors in my rims, so give it a little more. It says check oil pressure, which I wanted, which I knew it would because the oil pressure is low. All right, and we kill it. Now, time to do what we did earlier. We're going to drain it all over again and put a new filter on. So here we go. So we'll just set my keys down, and I got my oil filter there. Same procedure as before. Grab your 15mm socket. You just want to break it loose for right now. So all I'm doing is just breaking it loose. Maybe. There we go. So I just broke it loose. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually just going to replace the filter while I'm under here. So I have to switch hands so I can grab the filter. Slide my oil fan over. Again, this oil might be a little warm, so you got to be careful. So when I told you hand tight, this is why I told you hand tight. So it's coming off. All right. So, a little difficult to get off, so I'm going to put a glove on. So hold on 1 second. Alrighty. Alright, got my glove on. So now we'll give a little extra grip on that. And I'll probably use an oil filter wrench because I still can't get it. Where'd my towel go? this is why I tell you, I only put it on there hand tight. Barely, and I think I strong-armed it. Because she's not one to come off without a wrench. So let me grab my wrench. I'm going to put the phone down. I'll be right back. I'm actually going to pause it so you don't have to wait the whole time. All right, I'm back. Got my oil filter wrench. So we'll get her on there. Give it a good time. Just to break it loose. That's all we want to do. Just got it up there. You can see it now, turning, breaking loose. That's all we want to do. So likely the heat from the oil that I had in there caused it to expand while not at the connection, which is why it will not break loose by hand. There's also another reason why you want to wait till the oil's cooled off before you work on it. So I'm going to just break it loose a little bit. Should start seeing some oil flowing. There we are. And then you can kind of see, you see the oil in there. So this is the oil that was in the passage itself. Notice it's coming out not as clear as the original oil I put in. However, it is a lot cleaner. So now I'm getting out a lot of the oil that's in my engine passage. So we'll go ahead and turn this loose all the way. And I'll let you see it. So you kind of see what it looks like now. It's getting a lot of that debris out of there. Just wait till you see what's in the oil pan. So we'll go ahead and take it all the way off. Again, this oil is hot. I know it's hot because I can feel the heat radiating through my glove. So it's a good thing I wore gloves. So again, I highly recommend you to do the same. Do not change this oil without proper protection. This oil is draining right now. I'll grab my, this is draining. I'm going to grab my rag that I left up at the on the bench. So I'll be right back. All right.